Welcome in, beautiful souls. If you're new here, my name is Jane. If you're returning, glad that you're here. I received three different downloads over the weekend, and so I just did a reading a few minutes ago, and it brought out the turtle, and so I believe that this reading here that I'm going to do is related to the other. So I'm going to connect the two together. So you'll be able to find the other reading in the description if you're interested and going to view that. So they kept showing me turtles, octopus, and the jellyfish. So it wasn't, they were showing me a lot of number 2s and 3s. So I wasn't really sure what this reading was all about because the energy seems a little chaotic. So I'm just going to try to break it down the best I can. So they were telling me here that you have to prioritize your self-care and rest, and stress management, a lot about stress management. And then something new is coming towards you. So I think if you're not able to rest and do some self-care, you're not going to be able to accept what's coming in a gentle and harmonious way, is I guess what I'm trying to say. So they're saying like there's some kind of personal growth, and they had me write down career. They kept saying career. So so they're saying about the relationship, they're saying about whatever relationship that's going on in your life, that the communication is really important, and to trust, and finding some kind of emotional balance. So I don't know if it's because the energy is so chaotic that it's creating some kind of like uproar in your life. And they're saying that they kept bringing up the word joy, growth, and creativity. And then they were bringing up like duality, partnership, and cooperation. I'm not sure because they're not really giving me a whole lot. So they're saying like, and spiritually, they want you to align with the divine and seek balance between the material and the spiritual world. And it's funny because this card here, I shuffled this and I split it and it came out on challenge. So I just kept it out. And, you'll see here that, that has the lightning coming from the sky and hitting into the ground. They also were giving me like positive outcomes and something about your dreams. So I wasn't, and I don't know why this exclamation mark, they had me put that there and underline it. So when I threw the astrological dice that I have here, it came out with Gemini, which is, this is the sign of, this isn't about Geminis. This is just the energy that they carry. So this could be what's going on with you at this time, or the people around you. Now, Gemini, okay, they want me to talk about Uranus first, because Uranus is ruled by Aquarians, which is air sign, and so is Gemini. They're air signs. So with Uranus, though, like Uranus is like a great innovation. It's like expect the unexpected. And that's like the lightning. Like you can never really, I mean, when you have storms rolling in, you can hear the thunder, but you don't always like see the lightning. You don't always get the lightning, you know what I mean? So there's something here about there's a lot of energy about innovation, technology, and breaking down systems. And that has a lot to do with Aquarians too, because Aquarians, they don't really go along with like the norm. They tend to they don't like authority. So that could be something that's going on right now. And I noticed that I put it right here on professional growth and career. So I don't know if that has, and then relationships like kind of clumped together here. So I don't know if this has to do with, you know what I mean? I'm not really sure what they are trying to tell me here. Too, you could be going into like a 7-year type cycle, or you're coming out of a 7-year cycle. Uranus is also like a very slow moving planet. Because it takes like 7 years for Uranus to move into a new astrological sign. So, you know, it's also about a lot of independence too. And it also, you know, it's funny too because I got the words intuition can suddenly become electric and vivid. So, you know, with the which just represents this lightning here, right? And the other thing too with Gemini, you know, it's funny because with Gemini, they are this is ruled by the oh, what is that thing called again? It's that winged messenger. It's a winged messenger god. What is that called again? Andragonomerous or something like that. Something to that effect. I can't remember everything. So with the sign of Gemini, this is like the twins, right? So this winged messenger god, it can easily go from the heights of Olympus, which, you know, from, you know, because Olympus, they was said was like on the mountain, like high up in the sky, whatever. But it can also easily travel from Olympus into the underworld. So that tells me, and because Gemini is like a really mutable, like you kind of go with the wind. You know, you also have that ability to shapeshift. Oh, my third eye is buzzing. So you could be getting like a third eye activation. You know, maybe this is why they want you to the stress management. You know, and I did that, just took that big deep breath because I just feel like there's like, you know, the energy is really highly electric. Yeah, that's the best word. You know, Gemini too, you have a lot of clever ideas. You're, you know, very curious, imaginative, and you can get bored very easily. So I think that's why maybe the self-care and the rest is really important for you. But there's something here about there's a positive outcome for your dreams, and I'm not sure what your dreams are. But you know, where they're talking about like to align with the divine and seek the balance between the material and the spiritual worlds. And then when they bring it, so they're referring to that over and over again. But you know, like turtles, octopus, and jellyfish, they're all about the sea, all about the water, the sea. That's funny, spirit, because like the octopus, they spend a lot of time, you know, they're like they can camouflage the shape shifting. Oh, I get it now. And the jellyfish, they kind of go with the flow. Okay, that's like going with the wind. I get it. Okay, and the turtles have like you know, they're probably one of the, you know, sea animals, sea creatures that, well, I guess all three of these, they can live on land for, well, for short periods, but they come from the sea. You know, the ocean might have something, you know, because it's the Gemini is the twin. Maybe the person that you're going to meet is either an air sign, earth sign, or water sign. And why I say you're going to meet them is because the other reading, they just told me it doesn't matter what the sign is because we are all of those signs. Before we are rebirthed onto the earth, we actually have to go through all the astrological signs. Oh, okay. All right, that's interesting. Okay, so we're just going to move on here because I think I'm done with this. There's something I want to really dig into, this dream thing. So they asked me to bring out with the dice. They wanted me to roll the dice here, which is going to tell us what house we're dealing with, the energy. So this isn't that funny? It's number 7 because Uranus is all about the 7-year cycle. And the 7th house is about commitment and partnerships. So this could be with, and that's probably why they had me put relationships and career. They had me like squish them together here. So there could be something that's happening with both of those things. Like, that's the first things that are going to happen. Oh my God, my third eye is it's buzzing so much here. And they asked me to also bring out my dream catchers deck? Dream something deck. Okay, so we're gonna keep this card out because it seems to be very important here. Truth and integrity is right underneath it here. Summer. I don't know if that has anything to do with this reading. Okay, so what else do you want here? Okay, they wanted me to pull out one of these cards to read at the end. So number 5 might have something to do with this one. Oh my God, that is so funny. Okay, because this is the same card. And I was just thinking that, what's the chances of them bringing out the same card that they brought out in the other reading that's connected to this one? And that is the card that they brought out that I read in the last one. That is really quite hilarious to me. Okay. So the challenge here could be to stay grounded. All right. So they're going to have me pull out one of these cards here. All weavers know that all is God. Number 44. You know, all these lights coming off the... Okay, I don't know what this card is. They're going to have me read that later. Let me just move these dice out of the way. So underneath that. Is that an octopus? That's an octopus. Look at that. Only weavers know the truth. You know what? I wonder if you're a dream walker. Oh my gosh, I think you could be a dream walker. You know, see these two faces here? One's facing that way and one's facing that way. It gives me the twin from the Gemini here. I brought that octopus. You know, and octopus too, they are very rare. You know, octopus, they're shapeshifters, yes, but they're also, they're the only species on this planet that don't have any other DNA. They don't share DNA with any other creature on this planet. So that tells me that you're very rare. And you know, I'll notice too, you know, you have the face in this tentacle, and then you have the face matching, and then you have the same design in this one. So, you know, they're talking about that twin, the twin flame. You know, that had a lot to do, the twin flame had a lot to do with the other reading too. What's this one? 13. All the willows know your name. Because the dream walkers, if you're a dream walker, I really believe that you're a dream walker. That's why all the willows know your name. You're going to be known in all, oh my God, because you know what? Now number 7 too, that they talk about like all the 7 layers of spirituality. So you could be actually in your dreams. Oh my God, is that why they gave me the... Okay, because they brought out the word, they gave me at the end dreams. I thought the dreams were about your career and your personal life, but now I'm starting to think, because it's all about the duality, the partnership, the cooperation. I think it's because, like, I think when you're dreaming, I think you could be stepping into other people's timelines and in their dreams and doing some kind of I don't know if you're... that's why you're able to go, oh my God, that makes so much sense now, because that's why you're able to go from Olympus all the way into the underworld. So you are a dream, I believe you're a dream walker. Oh my God, Spirit, I don't think I ever did a reading about a dream walker before. That's it. Oh, look at that, I didn't realize. Okay, so beyond your fears, the weavers dance. Yeah, because you know what? You're not afraid of going into the underworld. So you're going into the underworld while you're sleeping. If a cat curls around the moon, you know, they keep having that reference between like the sky and the earth. Okay. Time to feed the hungry heart. You're not afraid to mix things up. You're not afraid to stir things up. And you know, too, with, oh my God. And you know what's funny too, because octopi, you know, I don't know why I say octopi, I guess because there's more than one here, but with the octopi, when they feel threatened, so I think when you're in the underworld, when you're in the dream state, because that's like astro travel, right? When you're in that dream state and you have you know, negative things come at you, or when you're done, things cannot attach to you because you leave that ink and it clouds it, so it darkens everything around, and then you just escape. So you're not afraid to go in and shake things up. Wow, this is pretty interesting reading here. Okay, so what do you want me to go from here? Okay, there's something in this card here they want. Oopsie. The thriller, the reading nook, the unreliable narrator. Do you want me to take these upright? No joke. Okay, so they want me to take these in the upright. I don't think I had the deck upside down. Sorry, Spirit. They do. You can read these in the reverse, but they don't want me. Oh my God, the top of my head is like tingling, like you don't know. Okay, so they have the thriller, and it says Sherlock Holmes, The Secret, The Hunter, Never Lie, Dark Matter. You like it darker. Oh, The Couple Next Door. No joke. So you like it darker, like I said, that you're going into all these dark, the underworld. There's a lot here about the underworld. So this is the dream state that they're talking about. What this here? Okay, and then the reading nook. This is where, oh, so you're doing a lot of education, and the unreliable narrator. And you see how like they're coming from like going into all these, the darkness again. So you're going into all these different timelines. You're helping people somehow in these timelines. Okay. See, all the willows know your name. So on an astral level, all these energies, they know you. So I think this is something you've done for lifetimes, or this is what your mission has been while you're on this earth. So you're living out your own karma, you're living out your own soul expansion, but you're also still helping people in the on the different planes, yeah. I think it's because you enjoy like the thrill of it. You enjoy like sneaking into somebody's dreams, rearranging things, bringing assistance, whatever it is that you're doing, bringing knowledge, healing. I'm not really sure, helping them in some way, because you're not afraid of these dark holes. And like I said, like once you're done, you just kind of like throw this ink out and you just disappear and jump into like the unreliable narrator. Do you want me to read this? Look, I just opened it right to it. Wow. New perspective, reevaluation, dig deep. So what is this? In a novel, an unreliable narrator tells a story from their point of view, but they may leave out important details or interrupt things differently from how most people do. Their description of what happened may not always match reality. This card invites you to question what's being presented to you. Is there more to the story than you're being told? Dig deeper. Or could there be another way at looking at things? Perhaps what you're being told is one version of the truth, but not the only truth. And I noticed that they have like all the books here. So you're being asked to dig deeper here. Okay, wow. I have full body chills. So I'm telling you, I have like a third eye buzzing, which has settled down. The top of my head was tingling, and now I have full body chills. So that tells me I know I'm right on the money with this here. Whew. Brr. Okay, so let's take out, okay. That's why this energy is so chaotic here. Guidance of the sloth. And Uranus is so slow moving too, right? So I conserve my energy and put myself first. And it's number 2, which again is about the twin Gemini here. With the number 5 here, it kind of gives me the impression that you could be actually accessing 5 different astral levels in one dream, like one sleep. Oh, the top of my head is like tingling again. Oh, look, and I got octopus on the bottom. Look, and that's number 19. Look at that. Number 19, only weavers know the time. Yeah. And then you have number 19, I forgive those who have hurt me, letting go of my pain. Wow. There's, you're very, it has all this darkness around it too. And it looks like, it's funny. It actually looks like it's in the stars. And that looks like Mars. That actually looks like lightning in there too. You're a very unique individual. Dreamwalkers are very rare, I believe. I'm pretty sure they're pretty rare. I do believe that I can relate to this reading because I'm also a dream walker, and I just recently found that out. I didn't realize that that's what I was. So I do help people on an astrological, sorry, and I would keep saying astrological because, it's those higher, it has a lot to do with the astrology, I believe, but in the astral realms, like in the astral planes, because there are many planes of astral, and I've been doing like astral travel Like I can do it like in my waking hours, and I can also do it like while I'm sleeping. So I have a lot of disrupted sleep. I go into all these different timelines. Sometimes I can go into different timelines in one sleep session. So this is something that you could probably do too. And also, I think what you're doing is you're bringing in a lot of knowledge when you're doing that. Because it says here, all the willows know your name. So, you know, all these spirit guides and stuff, they that are assisting other timelines, that are in other timelines, they can call you in. Now, this might be something that you're not conscious about, because this, a lot of this stuff happens on the, oh my God, I just keep getting the word oversoul, because it's something that your oversoul is managing. Okay. Whoa. I get the tingles on the top of my head like you don't even know. The second chakra. Number 36. What number is that? 26. Okay. Okay. Just that one. Financial constraints. Number 13. Isn't there a 13? And then there's a 13 here. Financial constraints. It's number 13. Okay. You know, I'll notice this cupboard too, you know, and when the doors are closed, like, look, there's a book in there too. And I think that you get stuck in, I think you feel like you're always stuck in this. It's why you're always trying to break down the matrix that we're in. But, you know, the cupboards are something that, you know, are dark when the doors are closed, right? Okay, let's see what else is here. It's on the co-create, it's on the bottom. Okay. Treasure Island. Oh my God, and the turtle. You know, turtles have a really tough life too, right? Yeah, you got round and round, you know, because that's, you know, really what turtles do, right? And, you know, they just flip out that card here. Oh, I can't find it now. This Treasure Island, I think that you're going to be finding your riches, though. You know, I see that, you know, they have a lot of these hearts and stars. Treasure Island. Again, more water. Okay, so what's this one here? Man holding a coin. No joke. You know, because I think you've gone through so many financial constraints. You get the number 13 twice here. And then you have man holding a coin. With the Treasure Island, what's going on with this? Flexible. Yeah, because you're able to, you know what I mean? Because you're, well, because Gemini is a mutable sign, so that tells me that you're able to travel, you're able to go with the wind, you're very flexible, and that's why you're a dream walker. Holy moly. Okay, so the financial burden that you're going through right now, that there's going to be some big change with that. Oh my God, look on the bottom's another turtle. You know, that's funny too, because that turtle came out in the last reading, and I did do a shuffle here. So we have two octopus, or two, so we have octopi, and then we have two turtles. So the Ace of Shells is cups in the tarot, and is happiness, abundance. You know, it has these seashells here too, and I'm pretty sure that's what these are. There's like seashells with stars on them. The sun, vitality, joy. What did this card say here? What did this say? So it says joy, growth, and creativity. Some good things are really going to come here. I don't know if you haven't met your partner yet, you're going to, and when that comes, oh my God, look, there's like a new beginning here, and then you have the Hanged Man too. Nine of Crystals, look at that. And then it comes out with, oh, look at this. Okay. Decisions and directions on the bottom here. Okay, so, you know, I notice here on the bottom of this deck too, it's, oh, Goddess of the Moon, no joke. So, if you're a male and you're seeing this, then you're going to find, so this is a man holding a heart. So if you're feminine, you're going to find your counterpart. And if you're a male, you're going to find your female counterpart with the Goddess of the Moon here. Oh, Magician in the Mirror. It's right underneath. I didn't even know this card existed. Magician in the Mirror. So this person is going to, they're going to match your energy. They're going to be your counterpart. And you know, the Magician in the Mirror, this is all about, I'm getting the vibe that this is all about, like how you're in the two realms, right? You're in the spiritual realm, but you're on the earthly realm. But you're also, you can do the astral. You're in both. You know, this individual, this goddess that you're going to have, like the man holding a heart. So what if you're either or, you know what I mean? You know, I wonder if when you join together, you're going to, that's when all the money's going to come. Okay. Look, because you have the Angel of Balance here. Okay. And I think it said something here about, that to protect that management, that stress management. And you know, the jellyfish, that the jellyfish goes with the flow. It goes with the current. It just goes where, you know, the ocean takes it. You know what I mean? It just it instead of fighting it. And decision and direction here. You know, this lizard kind of gives me the chameleon type thing that, again, that shapeshifter reference. Okay. All right. So we have happiness and abundance. And then we have the sun. They don't want me to cover this because I think they want me to read this card. Now, so you have the traveler. So that's like the, in the tarot, it would be the Fool. So, you know, you're ready to, you know, the thriller, you know, that's funny because you like the thrill of it all, right? And, you know, that's kind of like a Gemini too. Like they really want to, you know, they get bored easy, you know what I mean? So they're always up for the thrill of it. You know, that number 7 too, in the houses, for the astrology, you know, number 7 is all about the partnership and being committed. Yeah, I think you've been alone for quite a while, for a long time, maybe even. So we have the twanged man. What is that? The hanged man, which is about, so this is about the adventure and the potential. So the hanged man is about the patience and perspective. Okay. And then you have the security and abundance over here with the Nine of Crystals here. You know, the crystals is the earth, right? So that's like pentacles in this deck. Okay. But you have 3 major arcanas here. This is very interesting. Is there something else? Do you want one of these? Okay. I just want a couple of these here. But they do want me to read. Okay, they want me to read this one, number 44. Book. I don't know what's the... Weavers know that all is God. That's probably why you're a dream walker. I mean, I don't know if you know that, like, in your human vessel, but when you go to sleep, you know, everyone knows who you are. Ouch, my knee. And they also, you then know everything about the universe when you're sleeping. You could be having, like, some really vivid dream. Oh, did I see that word, vivid dream? Maybe that's in the last one I did. So the essential meaning is the conscious universe is the source of supply. Spirit is fundamental to life. The mystical is the primary reality. You know, and that's where it has this magician here in the mirror and the mirror. Wow. Okay. And my dog is dreaming. And she's you know, like when dogs are dreaming, and they're like running and like barking and playing. And that's what, and she does, and she's a nonverbal dog. She doesn't howl. She's a husky. She doesn't howl, bark, or usually, very rarely whimper. So she's a very quiet type. She's a lot like me. I don't talk. I mean, here I'm doing a lot of talking, but you know, like as a child, I was mute, right? And I've been actually going through a period of silence again. You know, I do what Spirit asks me to do. So I just do what I'm told, basically, or asked to do. So the Weavers know all about God. Do you? This is a profound, magical time in your life. And it's important that you recognize your relationship with your higher power as essential and primary. And you know, when I was talking about, when I said here higher power, and I was saying, I kept hearing the word oversoul. Consider all the gifts of your very existence. When you breathe, ask yourself, who is breathing you? Okay. What force moves through you, animating you and those who love? Those you love. Sorry, the universe is the spark of life within you and nature. In you is true magic, connecting you to the web of all creation. You know, and they brought out the spider here, and I was thinking about that web. There's a lot of energy here, sorry. Each strand, okay, so the web of all creation, each strand woven on your behalf is pure consciousness. Right now, you're being asked to remember this and feel what that means to you. Every single thing in your life is sacred and infused with the power of Spirit, God, the conscious universe. Even your difficulties are infused with the sacred and are always beckoning you to remember who you truly are, an immortal spiritual being, have an immortal human experience. Can you see right now that whatever you're asking about has divinity sparkling through it? Treat the subject of your query with reverence and step into the sacred dance. You cannot go wrong. You're meant to have this experience right now. Oh my God. So they wanted you to know that you were a dream walker. Oh my God, you're a dream walker. Okay. Oh, I got full body chills. Wow. Oh my goodness. So this here is connected to that other reading. So I'm going to, like I said, I'll put it in the description so you'll be able to find it easily. Look at that. And you, again, you see how this is coming from the universe. This is your oversoul. I know the card says judgment. But you know how they had me put it right here? Okay, so what was that? Where was that thing again here? Something new is coming towards you. That's what that means when they had me write that down. Something new is coming towards you. I think you're going into a higher spiritual elevation of some sort. You're very rare because of the octopus here. And I had no idea what, my gosh. You know, you get the devil come out here. You see all the darkness going on? Oh my gosh. And you know what? Here, look, I'll show you. Let me lift this up here. So you have judgment here, and you see how you have this stag. I'm going to call it a stag because I don't know, or deer. I guess that are called stags, right? And then you have the devil here, and it's also a stag with these weird glowy eyes. I don't know if you can see that. So you're not afraid to face. You could be facing like these dark energies when you're sleeping. And Tower came out right underneath that. You know, Tower is all about this change. This is all about this new disruption. So there might have been some kind of, you know, and you have this dove here too. And the dove is a very spiritual. That's, you know, the how it goes in the Bible, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Well, they represent the Holy Spirit as a dove. Look, this is your destiny. The Wheel of Fortune is your destiny. Look, High Priestess. You know, I'm not surprised that came out either because, you know, they brought out here the goddess of the moon. That's all about the intuition. You know, so like I said, if you're a man in a human vessel, resonate as a man, you know, your goddess is coming in. And if you're a goddess, if you're the high priestess, your emperor is coming in. Okay. All right, is there anything else here, Spirit? Yeah, you'll be moving on together here. You'll be moving from this. And no joke, I just split it on Magician. This one's trying to peek out the Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles. This is something that you're working towards and you don't realize. Whatever you're working towards, like, I mean, maybe you're financially not doing so well, but, you know, it's coming towards you. So the Seven Pentacles, that is something that's come. Look, and the Sun card again. You know, the Sun card came out twice in the last reading. Those rabbit ears? Those are the ears of a rabbit? I think those are the ears of a rabbit. And I'm going to tell you something funny because I was talking about a hare. And I didn't really understand what the hare reference is. Okay, so this Magician here. Again, I'm the Magician. Wow. Yeah, the Five of Pentacles, you know, that's a lot of financial hardship, right? You know, so I think you could still be going through this financial hardship, but, you know, you're eventually going to meet your counterpart here. Okay, that's it, Spirit. All right, so they want me to read this card, even though I read it in the last reading. I'm going to read that again. Number 26 here. Future human. Humanity is evolving. The future human is growing from the spiritual ground currently being tended by highly individualistic, creative soul types who live in harmony with a loving inner connection to their journey of healing and awakening. The founding spiritual fathers and mothers of the evolving human collective need a strong sense of self to engage actively with others without losing their own voice. Such souls need to remember to stay true to their work, recognizing that this doesn't have to separate them from others. Rather, it strengthens the clarity of helplessness of what they can offer. Continue to develop yourself. In doing so, those around you benefit from your increasing spiritual maturity. Nurture your hopeful heart and continue to contribute positively toward what can be for future generations of humanity. And you'll notice that they were bringing out, the holding the heart here. Wow, that's been pretty amazing reading, Spirit. Okay, so I hope this video finds you well. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it, gives you a little bit of insight of who you actually are. And yeah, so this has just been incredible for me to, because I do really resonate with the whole dream walkers thing. So, and the astral, the financial even. So, yeah, I totally understand where you could be coming from in this reading here. So with that, I'm going to send you all my love and light, and I bid you a good day, and I hope this video finds you well. Bye.